Hello again everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're exploring the Boeing Saab T-7A Red Hawk, the US Air Force's brand new advanced jet trainer. Not the super sexy combat jet that you're probably thinking about, but it still has some interesting tie to history which I'll talk about shortly. It's a sleek looking aircraft and has been chosen to replace the vulnerable T-38 Talon that has served for over 6 decades, making it the first new Air Force jet trainer in over half a century. As you saw in the beginning of the video, the Red Hawk name honours the legendary Tuskegee Airmen of World War II, famed for their red-tailed fighters. Built as a joint venture between Boeing and Saab, the T-7A is poised to revolutionise pilot training for the next generation of fighter pilots with its cutting-edge design and technology. It's a bit of a leap away from the old beautiful T-38 Talon. For the Air Force, this jet isn't just really another airplane, it's representing a pretty big leap into the future of their training of future pilots. After 50 years of service, the T-38 and the Air Force launched a program to find a modern replacement. Boeing teamed up with Sweden's Saab to create the next generation of the T-X competition. Their prototype, a single-engine, twin-tailed reminiscent of a small fighter, was unveiled and flown in late 2016, proving the concept quite early. In 2018, Boeing Saab design won the competition, beating out several rivals, securing a contract worth up to $9.2 billion for 351 aircraft and 46 simulators, with options for a total of 475 jets. Thanks to digital design methods that have been improved via Boeing, it went from initial concept to first flight in only 3 years, and this is an unusually fast timeline. This rapid, high-tech development kind of set the stage for a truly state-of-the-art training aircraft, which to this day is certainly turning heads. Its design reflects a bit of a modern military fighter trait and the trainer's specific needs. Despite its advanced performance, the Red Hawk was built to be a maintenance-friendly aircraft. It's engineered for high-G maneuvers and high angle of attack flight, allowing students to safely train in extreme flight regimes. The jet's single GE F404 turbofan engine delivers roughly 3 times the thrust of the old T-38 Talon's engines. Plenty of power for training needs. At the same time though, the design minimises the need for special tools and allows for quick servicing, meaning that more time is in the air and less in the hangar. It really is kind of combining the agility of a modern fighter with the reliability and the flexibility required of training aircraft. The aircraft's been designed as best as it can to close the gap between basic flight training and the complex reality of 5th generation and future generation combat aircraft. A huge focus on this aircraft in my research is that the cockpit has been pushed as hard as it can to be fully digital with the most modern avionics that push trainees to develop not only decision making but sense and management skills needed for more complicated aircraft in the future that they may fly, like the F-35 and F-22. The T-7A thus teaches far more than stick and rudder flying. It trains students to think and operate modern combat pilots from the start. One of the groundbreaking aspects of the Red Hawk system is the open architecture and integrated simulation. The jet's software-centric design means that new capabilities can be added via updates over time. It can be upgraded and set up for the next generation of aircraft that could be coming. Instructors can even adjust certain flight parameters for training mid-flight, for example capping G-forces or tweaking handling characteristics as students progress. The T-7A comes with a very robust ground-based training system, including a high-fidelity simulator with links to the jet. This live virtual constructive, or LVC setup, allows real T-7A aircraft and simulators to operate together in the same scenario. For instance, a student in an actual T-7A could dogfight against a virtual adversary that appears in the cockpit displays, creating a full mission experience with only one real jet in the sky. This is really cool though. Can you imagine playing DCS and all of a sudden realizing, by the way, you're actually fighting a real jet in this scenario? It's very interesting way of doing things, a new concept that I didn't even know existed. But this high-tech approach really enables complex multi-domain scenarios that were impossible with the old T-38 trainer. And this greatly increases the realism of training for pilots. I can't even imagine being able to play scenarios of that kind. You could basically fight against just about anything, and the aircraft in the sky isn't actually seeing that jet, but it exists. And, I'm sure it's not brand new, and there's sort of a lower key version of this, but the fact that newer pilots can get involved with it, that's really, really cool. And the LVC and the advanced simulations also of course mean fewer actual sorties and aircraft in the sky are needed. Students can achieve proficiency with less flying time. Now of course nothing is going to take away from actually being in the cockpit and flying the jet, but in terms of more complicated setups where you need to actually practice combat maneuvers, you could do that maybe in a simulator that is still linking to the aircraft and kind of having those scenarios, but not putting as much workload on the maintenance crews or the aircraft itself. All of these capabilities make the Red Hawk's training ecosystem far more immersive and effective than anything really before, and I think it kind of gives the pilots the new skills and, more importantly, if anything, the confidence required for modern air combat. It's nothing worse, I think, than going from a T-38 to then instantly saying, by the way, you're now going to start learning how to work on the F-35. It's literally going from like a, I don't know, Volkswagen Golf to a Ferrari. It's just, that's the kind of level they're looking at, and I think they're trying to equal the playing field a little bit here by saying, well, you're going to go in a, you know, maybe a Ford Mustang and then moving up to the Ferrari. Now, in terms of performance, it's pretty nimble and fairly powerful, even though it's not the fastest jet around. The GF404 produces around 17,200 pounds of thrust with afterburner, roughly triple the thrust of the T-38 Talon. It gives a very impressive acceleration and climb capability for a trainer aircraft anyway. It can reach near supersonic speed, around Mach 0.975 or 750 miles per hour. It can also climb to a surface ceiling of about 50,000 feet, matching the altitude envelope of the T-38 and many frontline fighters. While the Red Hawk isn't truly supersonic like the Talon was, the emphasis has shifted raw speed for advanced handling and systems. Thanks to modern aerodynamics and fly-by-wire controls, it can perform high-angle attack maneuvers and withstand up to 8 Gs of forces in turns. Student pilots can thus experience high-G environments in a very forgiving training platform. And this kind of bridges the gap between flying jets normally in training and then into actual fighter jets. For reference, it measures around 47 feet in length with about a 30 feet wingspan and carries enough fuel for roughly 1,100 miles of flight. Notably, it was designed with safety and modern tech in mind, and Boeing advertises that T-7A's escape system, or ejection seat and canopy, is one of the safest in any training aircraft, which is a vital feature for pilot training. The cockpit is equipped with a contemporary heads-up display and large multi-function screens as usual, providing pretty good situational awareness to the crew, but once again this is a training aircraft. It can perform very tight turns, and the advanced sensors and information management allow the pilots that are learning to manage multitudes of information as they're doing some of these maneuvers. And she's doing very well overall from development going into operational service. The Air Force began flight testing the Red Hawk in 2023, with the first jets delivered to Edwards Air Force Base for test evaluation. By late this year, the initial training aircraft was scheduled to arrive at Joint Base San Antonio Randolph in Texas, home of the 99th Flying Training Squadron, the Red Tails. The 99th FTS will be the first unit to operate the T-7 Alpha, and the Air Force projects achieving Initial Operating Capability, or IOC, in August 2027, with 14 Red Hawks in service. After IOC, production will ramp up. Plans call for building another 40 to 60 T-7As per year through the early 2030s. Final deliveries are expected by 2035, and the venerable T-38 Talon will remain in use until enough Red Hawks are on the flight line. The program, though, has faced some significant delays. A 2023 report cited software and safety issues that pushed back milestones. No offense, Boeing, but yikes. Even your trainer jets are having some issues. But, of course, progress continues towards replacing the aging trainers. In fact, the T-7 Alpha's program of record includes 351 jets and 46 simulators. It's a pretty big order, and the Air Force has hinted that the platform could eventually be used to replace the smaller TC Texan 2 trainer as well, which I've just done a video on turboprops, so you can go check that out if you want. For now, the Red Hawk is on track to become the backbone of the United States Air Force pilot training for quite a long time to come, bringing a lot of new capabilities and efficiency to the training pipeline, and I hope the new pilots are able to maximize their training on this new platform. It is not just, though, a US Air Force project. It's drawn international attention as well. Boeing estimates a potential market of up to 2,700 Red Hawks worldwide as Air Forces look to upgrade their training fleets. Countries like Serbia and Australia have already been cited as an interest into the Red Hawk for their own pilot training needs. And in all honesty, with some of these advanced features and relatively affordable design, I do think the Red Hawk is going to be poised to compete with some very good modern trainers that are already on the global stage. There are several variants and expanded roles for the T-7 also under consideration. A carrier-capable version, tentatively called the T-7B, has been proposed for the US Navy trainer jet program, with dozens of jets potentially needed. Boeing has even floated the idea of an armed light combat variant dubbed the F-7, which could serve as a low-cost fighter for countries retiring old jets. Such an F-7, if developed, might kind of replace the aging aircraft like the F-5 or act as an aggressor for advanced training. All told, the T-7 Alpha's flexible design could home in many air forces around the world, extending its impact well beyond the USAF. So I do think the T-7 Alpha Red Hawk is certainly an impressive aircraft. I don't think it's marking an entire era or new era of Air Force pilot training. There's certainly a generational development here, but replacing that 60-year-old jet is certainly a big leap for them, particularly when it comes to digital engineering and being a more flexible system, and a bit of a fundamental shift of how aviators prepare for modern warfare, linking up to some of these more advanced fighters. I'm hoping it'll allow them to transition into fighter jets quicker, because you've got to imagine the amount of training that goes into getting someone into the cockpit and into the seat of an F-35, F-22, or even, F-15, F-16s. By honouring the Red Tail's heritage, though, which I think is really, really cool for the Tuskegee Airmen, the Red Hawk also carries forward a bit of a legacy, and that's really, really cool to see as we look into the future. Honouring our past is a big deal, and with the advanced capabilities it has, with the high-tech cockpit and all the different integrated simulations, I think it's got a very, very exciting future for it, and could be even potentially combat ready for the future. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the T-7 Alpha Red Hawk. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and of course subscribe to my channel for more military aviation and military equipment content. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the Red Hawk and of my videos, and future topics you'd like to see. Until next time, stay safe and I'll catch you in the next video. All the best, folks. Bye bye.